Hi folks, it's Dr. DiBiase. I'm going to provide a quick week 2 overview to kick off the module. So, this week we're looking at some big questions. These are going to be sort of the guiding questions for the week. We are looking at the broader threshold concept of process and the ways in which we develop as writers. So, here are some of the questions we're going to think about. What is our writing process, right? So, what is the way that we go about engaging in the act of writing, right? And how does that change from context to context, from task to task? We're going to think about how one's process affect the success of a piece of writing, right? So how can one's process affect the likelihood of being successful in the writing that you're doing? So, for example, certainly I used to be a student who would wait until the last minute to, put together a quick essay. And although the essay might do relatively well, it's obvious that it wasn't indicative of what I could have accomplished had I put more time into it. So it's certainly beginning to think through what our processes are, and to an extent, how they've come to be the way they are will be something we'll be talking about in our group discussions, and something you'll be encountering in the readings this week. Tied to this, right, can we identify differences between effective and less effective approaches to process? So, are there some hallmarks or strategies that successful writers implement that might have something to do with their approach to the process of writing? And that's something that's going to come up in a couple of the readings that we look at throughout this week. And I'll kind of call that out as we see them. And then finally, right, how can we positively intervene in each other's processes? So this week we will begin doing peer review and peer feedback on the first major project. I'll talk more about that midweek, but we'll start that Thursday and Friday. And so part of the questions we're going to be asking ourselves will be things like, what makes for good feedback? How do you provide feedback in a way that is genuinely constructive and useful for the writer to whom you are responding? I suspect we have all at one point or another have had experiences where we've received feedback that was less than helpful, or had an unsatisfying experience in receiving or even perhaps giving peer feedback with respect to writing. So we're going to be teasing that out as we move through the week. Couple of major goals. So from a logistical standpoint, one big major goal is to familiarize yourself with groups on Blackboard. I posted a link to a video on that, so you can you'll see that in the module, and you can make your way through that video, and that will explain some of the functions that you're going to be needing to use. We're going to dig into some more challenging readings as we move through the week. The first readings are really quite accessible, particularly the Anne Lamott piece, Shitty First Drafts, is a really accessible and I think enjoyable piece of writing. So I hope you enjoy it too. But as we move into some of the other pieces this week, we're moving away from writing that is specifically written by the textbook authors with you in mind as its audience, and we're going to start moving into some of the collected essays that appear in Writing About Writing that were not originally written with first year students in mind, and so expect for those readings to be a little bit more challenging. That said, they will provide some useful models for thinking about how to structure your own major projects. We'll finish the first draft of the major project by the end of Wednesday, so that people can begin looking at those on Thursday and Friday to provide the required peer feedback. Tied to that, we'll be providing substantive feedback for your partner by the end of Friday. That will give them enough time to begin revising for the following week. Finally, throughout the week, I expect you to be engaging in your group discussions on the group discussion boards. So let me give you a quick walkthrough of some of the other things that we're going to be looking at tied to the course site. So Module 2 is open. There's now a course video link. Groups are open with the discussion boards. So we'll take a quick look at that. When you're in Student View, when you're logged in as a student, you'll now see a link for course videos. I've been trying to collect all of the course videos in that spot. There may be one or two new ones that I haven't added there yet, but they will get there eventually. I know that the embedded videos are causing some issues, so if you can't open an embedded video, check course videos and you'll likely find it there. Otherwise, you can just click open in a new tab and that should fix the problem. As we talked about in one of my previous videos, groups are now open. This is a sample student, so there's no group assigned, but when you click on groups, you will see the group to which you're assigned. You can click on that, and your discussion board will be there. And again, review the using groups in ENW 100 video for more details. Moving to course content, week 2 is now open. Once you click on it, it will immediately take you to the week 2 module map. This will outline the work that you're going to be doing throughout the week. Monday is really getting ourselves situated with the module, so reviewing the map, watching the week 2 overview video, which you're doing right now, watching the using groups video, reading the additional requirements or guidelines that I've posted for the first major assignment, and watching the attending video. Looking at the beginning of Writing About Writing Chapter 4 has a very brief introduction, and then you'll roll right into Anne Lamott's Shitty First Drafts. And then, check out the discussion thread, begin contributing to that discussion. And then really the rest of your Monday and Tuesday, I would suggest you spend primarily on working on your drafts. I'll be posting a video by Tuesday on claims, reasons, and evidence that should help you as you're thinking about how you want to frame your projects. But that will be going up in about a day. So again, you can review the map. That'll give you a big overview. There is one other thing I want to point out that I didn't put on the slideshow. If you go to the discussion board, I have created a forum for the major project with an Ask Me Anything. So if you have any questions about the project and you want to post them, I'd be happy to answer you in the discussion board. Please note that the main discussion board is distinct from the discussion boards that you'll access through the groups page that are just group specific. It's not entirely intuitive on Blackboard's end, but bear with me, please. So good luck making your way through this module. One other thing that we should note, I guess, let's go back to the module real quick. So when you open up module 2, you will see a link for the week 2 map. There'll be a link to this video once it's posted as well, and a link to the video using groups in ENW 100. In order to advance the content in the module, you will need to click Mark Reviewed. And this is going to apply for a lot of the things in the module. So any video that you watch, you'll have an opportunity to click Mark Reviewed if that particular video is tied into releasing other content. So once you've reviewed the video, that will open up Major Project 1, which will link you to the Google Doc. And the video as well. And once you have made your way through those, it will open up the content for Anne Lamott's Shitty First Drafts. So again, you're going to need to keep an eye out. Some videos and some links will have the mark as reviewed option. You'll want to keep an eye out for that so that you are able to progress through the module smoothly. So good luck, and I look forward to seeing people during office hours, and take care.